ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome into the bullpen. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Ken Smith, and John Belmer here with you for the next 2 hours. If you want to join in on the conversation, which will start off with the Texans and their game against the Packers tomorrow, you can give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line at 713-780-3776. We got the quad box on the screen following all the college football action. So can you stop breaking stuff? The show has started. This studio doesn't need your help to break stuff. It's already on the edge.
Sorry.
It's literally 12 o'clock and 33 seconds as I started that sentence, and you've already broken the microphone.
It's not my fault that we have these.
Careful.
Janky ass arms.
Okay, well, you said it. Yeah, you said it. That's fine. It's you know what? It's totally fair.
I feel like that's fair. Yeah,
it's totally fair. It's totally fair.
These mic stands are janky.
Janky is an undersell.
Yeah, that's why I feel confident saying.
Dollar General mic stand.
Who here's gonna be like, no, they're not janky. No, they're janky.
Was that a John Granado impression?
No, I don't know.
Okay, it sounded a little Granado-ish. What were we talking about? Texans. Okay.
No.
So I don't know what we were talking about. We got the quad box up here. What do we got going on? Oklahoma down 14-0 to South Carolina. I called Oklahoma's performance last week against Texas to you, Sean, and then on the Killer Bees the next week, the worst offensive performance I've ever seen in a Red River shootout. And I know I've watched multiple games where the teams have been shut out. At least the Sooners scored 3 points, but certainly has not gotten any better in the second week with Michael Hawkins as the starter. I don't know where Oklahoma goes from here, but this has the looks of a 6-6 football team right now.
So they would go to 500.
Yeah, that's where they'd go.
I more meant like
probably a low-level bowl game.
I more meant the future of Britton Venables and then what they do at quarterback, how long they stick with Michael Hawkins, because he's a true freshman.
The Tax Slayer Bowl.
I hate you guys.
Idaho Potato Bowl.
And it's a pick six. It looks like South Carolina's now up 21-0. So Michael Hawkins,
still a lot of time.
Not him. So Houston Texans going to Green Bay. Him.
The Houston Texans are him.
The Houston Texans are him?
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't against Minnesota, but yeah, so they're going to Green Bay, going up to the Great North once again. Didn't go well for them last time. Obviously, they got blown out by the Minnesota Vikings. But obviously, I don't think we really knew what the Vikings were at that time going into the Week 3 game. So certainly, much better team than we anticipated. But going into the game with what we know at the time, I think this is the most concerned I've been for the Houston Texans as far as my confidence level in their ability to win. I mean, you start off with the injuries. They're two starting linebackers, right? Well, top three linebackers from what you expected to have in the preseason, because Christian Harris still hasn't returned. But Azeez Al-Shaair is going to be out. Henry To'oTo'o is going to be out. You have two starting defensive backs with Jimmy Ward and Kamari Lassiter out. In your top two, they're not going to really play much of the wide receiving game, but your top two kick and punt return options with Robert Woods and Steven Sims are out. I picked the Packers -2.5 on the Killer Bees, and I would have probably gone up to 4.5, 5, maybe even 6. I think the Packers probably end up winning this game comfortably. I just don't like the matchup with the number of receiving options that the Packers have versus a secondary that was already a little prone outside of Derek Stingley. Now you're down a couple guys, plus Josh Jacobs has been great this year. Turned into a couple of huge games. You're down your top three linebackers. I'm kind of thinking the Packers might roll here.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. Honestly, it would be a great matchup if both teams were completely healthy. With the injuries and the fact that the injuries are so concentrated on the defensive side of the ball, especially with the linebackers and the secondary, that's really where you're gonna get attacked by Jordan Love and the four-headed monster they have at wide receiver with Dobbs.
Yeah, maybe Wicks misses. He's questionable. Everyone else seems like they're good to go.
Yeah, so it was already gonna be a tough sledding because Derek Stingley can only guard one of those guys, and the fact that they spread the ball so much would be asking a lot on Petrie and would be asking a lot on Lassiter and Ward and all these guys if they were all healthy.
Right.
These guys aren't even healthy.
Yeah, they're not even
healthy. So now you're going further down the depth chart. I think at glass half full, you think, hey, if it's a shootout, I still trust CJ Stroud in a shootout to be able to move the ball and score some points. But I kind of feel like that's the only way that the Texans can win tomorrow.
Oof. Yeah, this is a tricky one too. 'Cause the thing is, it's like with Minnesota, they don't have the offensive weapons that Green Bay did. Like they just have that really stout elite defense, which is
Oh, hold on, Cam. They don't have the offensive weapon. They're going to get Justin Jefferson.
well, they got.
I mean, they were missing Jordan Addison in that game when they played the Texans. They still had Jefferson.
No, they have weapons, but not to the point of Green Bay, where Green
They
Bay
don't
has
have the
3 or 4
numbers. Yeah.
receivers. They got a good.
Okay, I'm with you.
Green Bay's got a good run game, and the thing too is Green Bay forces a ton of turnovers. Like I think they're number 1 in the league in forcing turnovers. Texans don't force turnovers, so Green Bay has that advantage to them. I think if this Texans team had their linebackers, had everybody healthy, I mean, this is an easy point that could be made. You could say that would tip the favor in the Texans. But I think with all those injuries and with how good Jordan Love has played with those receivers, I think that Green Bay is going to get over on the Texans this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously pessimistic for. I mean, you start with the injuries, and then this is maybe more anecdotal. My second reason, but we see that it's just a really tough place to play, and it feels like something that's hard to quantify because most teams are better at home than they are on the road. So it's hard to attribute something extra to Green Bay. But we saw. What was it? The Arizona Cardinals had just beaten the 49ers like 2 weeks ago. Then they have to go on the road to Green Bay and got their doors blown off. Now Marvin Harrison Jr. leaves early in that game, but it just feels like there's something different about going to Green Bay that's a little tougher on these teams. And obviously CJ Stroud going there for the first time. So I'm not overly optimistic, but if you had to think of things that do make you optimistic about this game, I mean, Sean, you mentioned the shootout. That's kind of where I would go. Like if we talked about the injuries. It's multiple linebackers, multiple defensive backs. It's 2 kick/punt returners. We're not really talking about the offense. Joe Mixon's back. He looked good in his return. Tank Dell seemed to show in the New England game last week that his disappearance early in the season was more about need and usage because there's only so many ways you could spread the ball around, more so than he's lost something in his sophomore season. So I think CJ Stroud and the Texans offense is going to move the ball and play pretty well. I just think the Texans defense is going to be putting the offense at a point where, well, if you have to punt or kick a field goal a couple times, you're going to lose because the Packers aren't going to be able to be stopped.
And I'm kind of with you on that because Green Bay Green Bay doesn't have that great of a defense. Like you can definitely throw the ball on them, which is to your point where y'all are saying a shootout. Like I definitely think CJ is going to get his numbers.
They do have one good corner with J.R. Alexander.
I think CJ is definitely going to get his numbers this week, but that's the thing. It's like, can the Texans banged up defense stop this really good Packers offense in a place that they're unfamiliar with? I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really good game, though. To be honest, back and forth. Like I think maybe whoever has the ball last is the one who wins.
Yeah, there's a way I think this Texans defense can at least provide some issues for the Packers, and that's the part of the team that we really haven't mentioned, and it's the part of the team that's the healthiest. It's the front
pass
seven,
rush.
Yeah, and specifically the pass rush, and just putting the Packers under pressure. Jordan Love is not good. When getting blitzed this year, I think he's 28th in passer rating. It might be QBR. Who cares?
Same thing.
But
I mean, it's not the same thing, but same difference.
It's a low number on something you want to be a high number,
right?
That when you put Jordan Love under pressure, then he makes decisions. He has turned the ball over a little bit this year. I think he has 6 interceptions, and he missed 2 games so far.
It's actually, you're right, but it's actually even worse than that number suggests because you like you said, he's missed a couple games. I looked this up in relation to a take about a player I'll mention here in a second. But Jordan Love going into this week is number 2 in the league on his percentage of throws that turn into interceptions. Number 1, you won't be surprised, Will Levis. I mean, of course he is. So percentage of throws that turn into interceptions. Will Levis 1, Jordan Love number 2 in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you'll never guess it, which kind of leads you to the answer. But you want to guess who's number 3?
Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes.
Who? I would have never guessed that. I don't even know who that guy is.
So yeah, to your point, like if Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter And they're returning to Nico Autry. We'll see how much he plays in this game. I'm assuming he's going to be on sort of a snap count limitation. If they're able to get to Jordan Love at the rate that they've been able to bother Caleb Williams, to bother Drake May, to bother some of or Josh Allen, obviously they forced him into the worst passing game he's ever had. If they're able to do that, Jordan Love might turn the ball over enough for the Texans to stay in this game and win it. But I think it's going to take a Herculean effort by those pass rushers to get the job done.
And I think with if you go, okay, so either pass rush or just blitz them and try to force them into bad decisions. The difference between the Packers, the Bears, and the Patriots, to me, it's who's the guy calling plays for these teams.
Certainly.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur is just on a completely different level than Shane Waldron and is it Alex Van Pelt?
Yeah, sounds right. I mean, he got 2 wins out of Malik Willis.
Yes, yes, exactly.
I mean, case in point.
And so the just like blitz them and the Bears and the Patriots. Part of it's the talent on the field with those two teams. The offensive lines for both the offensive line and the receivers for the Patriots. But there is a little bit of if you're just going to keep blitzing them, I trust LaFleur to figure it out or to at least scheme something up. And so I think that really the game plan for the Texans, it has to be one where you're accepting a lot of risk that, hey, you're probably going to give up some big plays to this passing offense. But the only way that you really have a chance to get this offense off the field is by blitzing, is by getting to Love and try to turn him over. So I think it's going to be the way that the Texans can win this game is a lot of splash plays on defense.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that because they have been fairly blitz heavy this year. But with the injuries we talked about in the secondary, specifically Kamari Lassiter, I don't know if they're going to feel like they have the secondary depth to be that blitz heavy, to put their guys, these backups, into one-on-one situations. I think they're going to go into the game, and what we're probably going to see is a lot of sit and zone in hope that the pass rush wins. Now, obviously, if everything goes the way you want it to, that's great, because then you force maybe to hit Jordan Love when he's getting pressured by the front four.
Getting pressure with force, key to the game.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if that, I don't know where I fall on that. Like I agree with you. Like you're probably your only chance to win is to get the sort of pressure that you saw on Caleb Williams, that you saw on Josh Allen, and force Jordan Love into mistakes. But you also don't think you have the secondary depth right now to be able to necessarily pull off a blitz heavy scheme. So it's really going to be Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, hope for pressure, like pray for pressure. That's kind of the game, like especially when you look at some, because these other teams that they've been blitz heavy against. I mean, the Bears were without Keenan Allen in that first game. The Vikings, even though they kicked your ass, were without Jordan Addison. A lot of the Colts were without Josh Downs in the first game. A lot of these receivers or a lot of these opposing teams haven't had the amount of receivers the Packers can throw out you. Now, if they're down to Tavion Wicks, that helps. Now you're talking about 3 wide receivers. But, I mean, I'm worried about Jaden Reed in the slot and being covered by Jalen Petrie. Petrie's strength is not coverage in the slot. He's obviously a box safety who can hit and tackle. So, I mean, if you're bringing the extra blitzer, you're putting these guys on one-on-one situations. You're down some corners. Jaden Reed on a converted safety. I'm not feeling that.
I just also don't. I mean,
maybe you don't have another option.
Yeah, this is just where it comes down to. Yes, the Autry in his first game back, Anderson and Hunter, like if they need to get pressure with 4, but if they can't, that's when I turn to. All right, let's just blitz them and
F it, bring them all,
and just
engage 8, John.
Make something happen. Make something happen because if you're not,
I've gotten to that point in my college football 25. Yeah. F it. Bring them all.
Yeah, if you're not going to be able to get pressure with the front 4, then Love is just going to sit back there and pick apart this defense that is missing, or this secondary and these linebackers that are missing parts. So hey, you can't pick on my linebackers in coverage if I'm sending them at the quarterback. That's what I say, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I've played NCAA football enough to know that you run 3-3-5. You have that formation that has everybody at the line of scrimmage,
double
and you
mug.
Run, mug, the 3-3-5 mug, and you run mid blitz.
Yep.
That's what you do.
Yep.
A free pass rusher every single time.
Someone's gonna have a free shot at the
D'Amico,
quarterback.
call me up. I'll give you the play art, baby. We can make this happen. Cam, you got
You're
any
not that
thoughts
guy,
before we
pal.
get
Trust
out?
me. You're not that
No,
guy.
I think you guys covered everything. I mean, what am I here for when y'all can call the defensive plays and everything?
3-3-5 mug mid blitz. D'Amico, dial it up.
Didn't West Virginia weren't they real prominent with that 3-3-5 back in the day?
Yeah, they ran 3-3. They were kind of the first team I remember that ran it a lot.
Yeah.
They were them and TCU were the first teams I remember that started playing, because TCU was like the first team to play the 4-2-5 that I remember. But they were kind of the first teams I remember going to like sub packages as their base formation.
Yeah.
But all right, we got more Texans on the other side of the break. Get into what they can't keep getting away with. That when the bullpen returns on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. Brock McDonald, Sean Makes, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you until 2 o'clock. If you want to join in on the conversation with what we're talking about with the text, my voice went up a little bit there. Give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line at 713-780-3776. Coming up second hour, you don't want to miss it. The return of Why So Serious. I think there's some things in sports that people are getting way too worked up on, so we're going to have some fun with that. And, of course, 1:30 will be Mount Rushmore +1, so don't miss that. But right now, we're going to ask the question, or actually make the claim of they can't keep getting away with this. And, yes, this is in reference to the classic scene from Breaking Bad with Jesse Pinkman breaking down, screaming, he can't keep getting
away with it.
Thank you, John.
Keep getting away with it.
Thank you, John, for having Brian stop doing
Oh, yeah. You know, that's actually a good call. I should have let the drop handle it.
We have the drop. I don't know why you
Aaron,
want to go line for line with Aaron Paul.
You don't think I have the same acting chops as Aaron Paul?
No, I don't know if you can bring the juice that he did there.
All right, let's hear it one more time, Johnny.
You can't keep getting away with it. You can't keep getting away with it.
Okay, that's pretty good. Now should I take my turn? Is this,
Okay.
and we're going to grade the performances?
Okay. Yeah, do your best.
Let me hold on. I got to get in character,
Oh
put
my
myself where the character is, feel his emotions, his trauma, Hey, don't interrupt the process, Sean. This is serious work here.
I'm muttering to myself.
Okay. He can't keep getting away with it. See, not bad.
He said it.
No, senor!
Oh, Johnny.
That was also Aaron Paul, actually.
he really got himself. He threw himself into that role. He's a real method actor.
Hey,
No, that wasn't bad, B-Mac. That wasn't bad.
All right, thank you.
you're very nice.
I'm a gifted thespian, as people have often called me. What was I think Cam got it.
Is that a lisp you have?
All right, so we're going to talk about the Houston Texans right now and talk about some. Look, they're 5-1, so things are great. But there are some things that they can't.
Keep
You
getting away.
can't keep getting away with it.
Exactly. They can't keep getting away with it. First thing on my list look, the schedule's going to get tougher.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens, the Lions. Well, Cowboys not tough anymore, but you got some tougher games coming up on the schedule. Because Dolphins got, getting Tua back now, so which basically means they also get Tyreek and Jalen Waddle back. They had disappeared. They basically lost a 3-for-1 there. But the schedule's going to get tougher. So if these things don't improve for the Houston Texans, even though great vibes right now with the record being 5-1, things could get a little bit dicey if these things don't improve. My first one, we've seen this in multiple games, especially week 1. This happened multiple times with Adonai Mitchell. We saw this happen with I'm trying to remember with Mac Hollins. It's the double moves. We've seen multiple defensive backs. Now, some of the defensive backs, Brian Thomas, yeah, he actually scored. Luckily, some of the other ones, Anthony Richardson couldn't hit Adonai Mitchell to save his life. Alec Pierce, although actually Alec Pierce caught his, but these defensive backs. Now, one of them is out. Kamari Lassiter is out. He kept getting burned by the double moves. The other rookie, Cam Bullock, also was getting burned by double moves. So we'll see how it goes with one of those pieces removed this week. But the defensive backs can't keep getting away with biting on these double moves when they actually face good quarterbacks. Stop facing guys like Anthony Richardson and Trevor Lawrence and those guys who can't complete the deep ball, and start facing Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, the healthy Tua, Jared Goff, et cetera, et cetera. So they can't keep getting away with that.
He can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, it is. That is something where I genuinely remember saying before the Bills game that, like, Josh Allen's gonna make you pay.
Yeah, I know. The pressure, though. That's the other piece of it. I mean, they got away with it in part. Well, 2 parts. One, the quarterbacks they faced for the most part have sucked. And the other part is, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson have been cleaning some of that up.
Yeah, but it is something where they really haven't had to learn their lesson. Like, they haven't actually touched the stove and gotten burned yet.
Yes, exactly.
Like, they keep getting away with it. And you're right, Brian. I don't think they can keep getting away with it.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Not as good as my performance there, but all right. What's something you guys think they can't keep getting away with?
Mine, second half offense for the Texans.
One.
And I'm
also on my list. Yeah.
I'm basically throwing out last week's game against the Patriots because I think they scored 21 in the second half. No, actually,
I scored more. They scored more than that. Because 14-7 and a half. Yeah.
So yeah, but that you're playing JUCO there.
Right,
against the rest of the teams. I mean, they go these long stretches in the third and fourth quarter. I mean, with the
Bears game,
I
think it was 3 points in the second half.
Yeah, the Bears game, they scored, I think, on the first or second drive of the third quarter, and then didn't score again for the rest of the game. Against the Jags, they didn't score in the second half until the last drive of the game to score a touchdown to win the game. I think it was similar against the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills they had it was a 21-7 lead or 20-7 lead, something like that, and then obviously the Bills tied it and they had to go down and win it.
So you can't keep getting away with this.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Bobby Slowick. You can't keep getting my Heisenberg, Bobby Slowick. They have to. I don't know
if Bobby Slowick is the danger though. He is not the danger.
To who is the question?
It might be the danger to us, yes.
But I think the second half offense is something that Bobby Slowick and the Texas offense is really gonna have to figure out.
Cam, what can they keep getting away with?
My first one and top one was not forcing turnovers. They're
also on my list.
They're at the 0 right now. So I mean, I guess it's better than being in the negative, but
They're even right now in their turnover margin.
Yeah, the
you can get
differential.
away with beating bad teams by not forcing the ball over, but once you start playing these good teams and these really good quarterbacks, they're going to eat you alive if you can't force them into mistakes. So they definitely got to get into that plus margin.
Yeah.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, that
Thank
is a
you,
good
Jess.
one. They can't keep getting away with that. That was on my list as well. Good list so far because second half scoring also on my list as well. Another one on my list now. Right now, I mean, arguably, they're obviously kind of getting away with it. Their ranking on this is kind of mid, and it's kind of a combo. It's really, I think, being disguised by the fact that they're playing teams with poor quarterbacks and teams that can't make them pay, kind of like the DBs biting on the double moves. But right now, they're in missed tackles. They're ranked 14th, so kind of right in the middle of the league. And they're also allowing 4.6 yards per carry against the run, ranked 15th in the league. Right now, that hasn't really bit them. I think it could this week against Josh Jacobs. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. Jaden Reed in the slot is the guy that the Packers like to get the ball to in the short screen game and let him make some moves and break some tackles in the open field. So we'll see once they face teams like that. The Miami Dolphins do a great job of that with Devin Achane if he's healthy. Raheem Mostert is great at breaking tackles. They get their receivers involved in the short run game, get them open in space, and see if they can make a DB miss and break a tackle. So I'd like to see the missed tackles and the yards per carry improve before they face this tougher schedule. Especially, yards per carry against the Lions, a team that establishes it like them with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They can't keep getting away with that.
You can't keep getting away with it.
No, that yards per carry, I didn't know it was that high. That's kind
4 points. Yeah, it's 50. It's right in the middle of the league at 15. So it's not like a huge red flag. But when you consider the competition, maybe it should be a bigger red flag because they're not facing the elites of the elites, and they're still giving up, middle of the league. If they're facing a tougher schedule, who knows how high that number is?
Well, because what is that old phrase? The run game opens up like the passing game. So if they're giving up 4.6 yards per carry to bad teams, and they start doing that against good teams with good quarterbacks, again, that's another thing that could really destroy them.
I mean, looking all the way ahead to Christmas against the Ravens.
Whoa. Yeah, way ahead. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson. Yeah, missed tackles, yards per carry.
You're not gonna want to miss those tackles.
No. Well, they might be making some business decisions when the freight train comes through town.
Wouldn't be the first.
Wouldn't be the first.
Wouldn't be the first time that Derrick Henry puts up a 200 spot on the Texans.
No, he's done that a few times. You guys got any more things they can't keep getting away with?
I just put consistent offensive line play. I know the last game they cleaned up the penalties a little more, but technically I think their offensive line is still ranked like 18th in terms of like blocking, and then you throw in all those pre-snap penalties. Again, stuff that you can get away with against bad teams, except for Minnesota, because you had a ton of penalties.
Turns out they weren't a bad
Minnesota.
team,
yeah, and they crucified you for it. So just better offensive, more consistent offensive line play.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah, penalties certainly belong.
That was the next one.
Yeah, it's been cleaned up. But it was before the last two games.
Even against the Bills, they had 0 in the first half,
and then
they had
6 in the second half.
Or 6.
Yeah, 6 in the second half, which would fit with what happened the prior 3 games, where 3 games in a row they were over 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, 6.5 over a full game would obviously equate to over 10 of the game. So
also the second half is where the Bills game got way closer.
Right, the game. Yeah, the Bills. You had a 2 possession lead. It feels like for most of the game, and all of a sudden you look up and the Bills have tied it.
Yeah, it's just
you needed a miracle with the Bills' quick 3 and out in like 3 seconds plus the punt and then the long field goal.
So yes, Laramie Tunsil wearing red gloves as the Packers are going to be wearing all whites.
Don't wear red.
He can't keep getting away with
it.
it.
He can't get away with it.
Laramie Tunsil might actually be the Heisenberg of the Houston Texans,
that's a good
because
call.
He can keep getting away with. I mean, all the stuff that we talk about with Laramie Tunsil, he's good enough to where it doesn't matter. He's good enough to get away with it and get a new contract every 3 years.
I feel like we can make an official request, though. This is from the bullpen to you, Houston Texans. All the offensive linemen wear white gloves on Sunday. White gloves.
White with the navy?
No. Well, I'm just talking about the gloves. The gloves need to be white. The Packers are wearing the white tops. Wear white gloves so we can't see the holding.
I agree.
That's my official request. Look, it may mean nothing.
I think the Texans are wearing the all navy.
They're wearing the all new.
So
that doesn't affect the gloves, though. You don't have.
I mean, it's going to look weird.
Oh, Laramie was wearing red.
Are we
They're gonna
worried
look
about
like
how we
golfers.
look, or are we worried about winning football
If
games?
you
Filmers
Sean?
over
look
here
good,
worried
you
about their
play
fit.
good.
Yeah, how's
look
that working with Laramie Tunsil?
That's
he
true.
he looks awesome in those battle red gloves that you can just see from space.
I wonder who's holding. Maybe it's those bright red gloves,
could-
the color of the sun.
You could stand on the roof of NRG Stadium, look through the holes in the roof, and see that he's holding.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. That was they can't keep getting away with it. We'll have to try to find a reason to if you want to hit the drop again,
One
that's
more
fine,
time.
Johnny. One more time
for the road.
One more for the
You
road.
can't keep getting away with
Great
it.
show. Brett.
Again, that's a B plus from here, Paul. I feel like mine was more of, I'll be humble here. Mine was like an A minus. He's a B plus, but I think slight edge to B Mac.
I don't think you know the definition of humble.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. I'm ignoring that hate, Johnny. Oh, you got something here, Sean?
Aaron Paul won Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series for this season of.
I mean,
Breaking Bad.
he wasn't going against me, is all I'm saying. Like, okay,
that
like we
is
talked
true.
about the level of competition the Texans faced.
That is true.
Maybe that's the level
Wow.
factor is the level of competition Aaron Paul faced when he won that Emmy.
Take that, The Walking Dead. I don't know what other shows. Take that, Mad Men.
I think Mad Men was probably is over. I don't know. Doesn't matter. ESPN Radio. We got to get out. We're way over. Bullpen will return in a couple minutes, and when we do, we're going to talk some NFL. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. Sorry you had to listen to Sean Mapes in that spot during the break. I don't know.
No need to apologize. You're welcome.
It's a great spot.
Download the Prize Picks app today.
I was
promo code MAPES to get $50 instantly when you play at least $5. MAPES, code MAPES.
Now you see what I was going for. I was trying to give you the opportunity to get the plug there.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5.
College football is the best time to play Prize Picks.
So you got any picks? What are you playing today, Sean? Let's make this a full Prize Pick commercial. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Should we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who cares? It's your sponsor. When I start Underdog next week, we're certainly going to get into it.
Well, first of all, they have $20 free lineup for any NBA season-long projection.
You lost
lineup
me in NBA. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Just saying.
Okay. Season's about to tip off.
Not my NBA.
Oh yeah, you want to go into
these
detail?
125 to 120 games?
Want to go into
Miss me with
detail about that? Okay. So I have one involving our Texas Longhorns and the Georgia Bulldogs. The first part of this lineup was Dylan Gabriel, less than 291.5 yards.
Wait, how is that involved the Longhorns? And
No, I'm just
oh,
saying
okay.
this one's already been settled.
Yeah, because Oregon played last night.
Yes. He threw for 290. I needed him to throw for less than 291. And he threw for 290.
Wow, talk about a sweat.
Yes. And so Carson Beck more on the passing yards, and
what was his line at?
270.5.
You have him more?
Yes.
Yours is
Okay.
at 270 now? Or 270?
Yeah.
It's at
This-
275 now.
I'm on the right side. That's plus value.
That's plus value. Okay.
Yeah, I'm moving lines.
I think I would actually lean on the under there, but it's fair. What
He-
you have
I mean,
anything else there?
He played poorly against Alabama and threw for 400 yards.
True.
Part of that's that they're trailing the entire game. And then Matthew Golden to score a touchdown.
Yeah, he is quite a red zone guy. I'm disappointed you don't have anything on Silas Bolden in the return game, because I know you're a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Now we're going super inside
That
conversation
is
here.
very inside. There's some
But-
Trey Wisner, more than 58.5 rushing yards.
I like that. All right, buddy. Yeah. So one more time, Sean. What's the promo code?
Mapes.
There we go.
MAPES.
Very easy to remember. All right. Now that we got the plugs out of the way,
I
let's
know.
get into some of this NFL
I'm gonna
conversation.
send that to Johnny. Can you send that to me? Surprise picture. Thank you.
If you want some tips from Sean on what plays to make on Prize Picks, you can text in right
CC
now.
Todd, too.
Call in 713-780-3776. That is the HRMP list. Right, we'll also take your Texans, your NFL conversation there as well. And let's get into some of this NFL conversation. I think the big news, real big news to Cam, because he looked at me like I was lying to him. But the Steelers, I don't know if they've officially made it official, but they're starting Russell Wilson on Monday night instead of the now bench Justin Fields. Justin Fields goes 4-2 to start the season for the Steelers, because that's just what Mike Tomlin does. He's never had a losing season, and he was able to resurrect Justin Fields' career to a point. But what do you guys make of this decision you start 4-2? Justin Fields, I mean, not that he was setting the world on fire, but he played decently. But they make the decision now to switch to Russell Wilson, who hasn't played like the Russ that we knew in 4 or 5 years. I mean, going back to not even his last season in Seattle, because that last season was the hand injury.
2021.
Like I think it's been even further than that. I think it might be the COVID year.
Really?
I'll look it up while you talk. What do you make of this decision?
I think it just goes. I think they thought Russ was going to be the starter when they signed him. I wouldn't be surprised if they told him that he was going to be the starter when they signed him, and then he gets hurt, so Justin Fields gets a chance. And I don't think Justin Fields played so well that it slammed the door on any opportunity for him to lose his job. So that's where you end up where you are right now. I think he played well enough for them to win, but not so well that it's you can't go away from Justin Fields. I think he did just good enough, but I think ultimately this is a team that felt like they were playing their backup quarterback for the first 6 games this season, are going back to the starter now he's healthy.
Yeah, so I looked it up. 2020, Russ was 4,200 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 13 picks. That was his last great season. I mean, next year he was 25-6 on the touchdowns, interceptions, not bad, but the yardage dropped down to just over 3,100. So yeah, 2020 was the last time we got vintage Russ.
Even like 4,040 touchdowns. I feel like that's like the only time he did that.
I think actually, 40 touchdowns, double checking. Yes, that is the only time he ever did. The only time he ever hit.
Even like the Legion of Boom days, like he wasn't.
He that wasn't the only year he hit 4,000, but that is the only year they hit 40 touchdowns. Cam, what did you make of this decision?
I mean, look, Mike Tomlin is one of the greatest. So it's really hard to, if this is going to be his decision, it's going to be hard to argue with it. I don't like it, because you're 4-2 with Justin. He's got 10 total touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's got I think his completion percentage is like one of the highest of his careers right now at like 66%, and you're winning. So like, why are you going to go back to a Russell Wilson who again hasn't done anything in 3 or 4 years, who's been hurt multiple times? Like, why would you go back to that?
I think the argument, and I mostly agree with you, Cam, but I think the argument against that is that when you look at what or who look sure they're 4-2 with Justin Fields. He's like you said, the numbers are pretty good for him. The passing volume's not there for him, which it almost never is. But 10 total touchdowns to 1 interception is great. The completion percentage, as you mentioned, is great. But when you look at their schedule, 4-2, but you got to ask the question, like, okay, well, who do they beat? So you look at the schedule, week 1, they went on the road against the Falcons. I mean, obviously the Falcons are playing pretty well, but that was the first game back for Kirk Cousins, and we all remember watching that game. Kirk Cousins didn't look right yet.
Yeah, and
They did not look right yet. So
Steelers didn't score a touchdown either.
it was 18-10, so I think it was,
it was
6 field goals. So I mean that would obviously be a point against Justin Fields. So you beat the Falcons when they're not ready to play yet. They then beat Bo Nix and the Broncos in his second ever start, 13-6. So again, you win a game scoring 13 points because you're facing a rookie quarterback in his second ever start. Week 3, their third win, they did beat the Chargers. Hey, that's a quality win, but it was at home. You scored 20 points, so that's probably the best win on their season so far. But still, it's facing a team that's a little bit offensively challenged. The Chargers lost their top 2 wide receivers, their top running back in the offseason. So there's some things to point out and nitpick there. And then their fourth win was this last week against the Raiders, who were missing obviously Devontae Adams and don't have a quarterback. So you look at you look at their schedule and go, okay, yeah, they're 4-2, but it's beat up Kirk Cousins who's not ready to play. It's Bo Nix. It's the Chargers who lost all their offensive weapons, and it's the Raiders with no quarterback and missing their top receiver in Devontae Adams because he was pouting and trying to get his way off to get to the Jets. So I mean, I think there's some things to point to if you're going to make the yeah but argument with Justin Fields.
I don't know. I feel like we've seen enough of Russell to where I don't know how much of an improvement he is over Justin Fields' really good start to the season. Like if Justin Fields was starting to like struggle, I would get it. Because even in those 2 losses, they only lost by 6 total points. So it's
Yeah.
not like they've been blown out or anything. Like the
True.
games that they've lost, not just because of him, but he has kept them in those games. And it's just like I just seen enough of Russell to where I'm like, let's just see what Justin can actually do. He got away from Chicago where it was all over the place with that team. He goes to a team with Pittsburgh that's got Mike Tomlin, who is one of the best coaches of all time. Let's just see what he can do. But whatever. I mean, I'm not the Steelers, so
You are not the Steelers.
And I will say this is a very you bring up a good point about normally a team would just be like, hey, let's have the guy who was drafted in 2021 and who we'll just obviously has a lot of talent and we'll just see what's there instead of going to a guy who like BMAC has laid out hasn't had a good year since 2020. And so there is a little bit of just take your shot in the unknown. But this is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if you know this, but Mike Thomas never had a losing season. This seems like a very
I feel like we've said that a few times this segment.
We are going to go 9-8 this season.
Yeah,
this is what this move tells me.
Mike Tomlin's got big 9-8 energy.
We are shooting to stay above 500, and I think that this can do it. And I think the way it does it is they go 2-3 in the games that Russ starts, and then they go back to Justin Fields.
All right, let's carry a little bit of this conversation over to the other side of the break, and then we get into some more NFL conversation, including next coach fired, Tua being back, and then maybe we'll get us some college football with Texas, Georgia, and the Heisman race. That when the Bullpen returns on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen. You can join in the conversation. We're going to talk in some NFL, the decision for the Steelers to bench Russell Wilson, or to play Russell Wilson for the now bench Justin Fields. If you want to join in that conversation or share some thoughts with the Texans-Packers game, give us a call or a text on the HRMP listener line, 713-780-3776. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, John Belmer here with you. So, carrying over the Russell Wilson conversation from the last segment a little bit, like I said before, I made the case why Justin Fields should lose his job to you, Cam, kind of playing the other side. The reason I think I'm with you here was specifically, and I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but specifically something Mike Tomlin said when he was asked about the decision before it got leaked out by George Pickens and others, that so he basically, Tomlin said, sometimes it's not about what you did or didn't do on the field in regards to the decision to go away from Justin Fields, which I understand. Like if this is prime Russell Wilson, like if this is prime Russell Wilson, then I wouldn't necessarily care what Justin Fields did while he was out, because I know how good the other quarterback is. But I think, look, it's Mike Tomlin. He knows more about coaching or he's forgotten more about coaching than I'll ever know. But it feels like that sends out like a pretty bad message to the roster. Now, the guys who are
because the whole reason why you start is by producing, and the whole reason you get benched is by not producing.
Yeah, so. I mean, obviously the guys at the very top of the depth chart, the very top of the roster, their spots are locked in. It doesn't really mean much to them. But you hear that message, just a guy fighting for playing time. I mean, it's got to be like, you gotta raise a people's eyebrow at that. That's got to be like, what? Excuse me?
Exactly. Yeah, it feels like a corporate elbow to the chest. I think this just goes back to my theory that to get Russell Wilson to sign with them for the minimum, they told him he was going to be the starter.
He was probably promised.
And I think that's this doesn't have to do with how Justin has played. Theory is that it has nothing to do with how he played, because we promised Russell Wilson that he's going to be the starter.
They have to please Russell because it's Russell.
Yeah, as Cam says, that feels pretty dumb. Like, what are we talking about here? We have to bow down and sacrifice ourselves to 2024 Russell Wilson?
Mike Tomlin's a man of his word.
What if instead of them promising that to get him to sign at the minimum, maybe he came in and during camp did enough to earn that starting job, and now
because he got hurt.
He got hurt in camp.
Well, yeah, but maybe they've seen enough that they were like, okay, this is our decision.
But this is where it goes back to, I don't think Justin honestly, what this reminds me of is a little bit of the it's ironic because it's Russell Wilson was involved, but the Russell Wilson Matt Flynn thing from 2012, where they signed Matt Flynn. They spend a lot of money on Matt Flynn. They draft Russell Wilson in the third round. And Russell Wilson just absolutely kicks his ass in preseason and in training camp, and they go with Russell Wilson. I think Justin Fields didn't absolutely kick his ass enough to take the job away, to slam the door shut on Russell Wilson. I don't think he played well enough to have that happen to him.
Yeah, and it's been a while, but I mean, Russ has won a Super Bowl. You talked about a 40 touchdown season.
And coaches,
it's are you going back to the baseball card?
Sure.
I mean, coaches love the dependable kind of starter guy.
Yeah,
and that's what Russell Wilson
is. To continue to play devil's advocate like I did last segment with the schedule.
Keep advocating for the devil.
Yes, that's right. Russell Wilson, #devil. But no, to keep playing that side, I think there is probably a part of Mike Tomlin that's looking at this like, okay, Justin Fields has played pretty well, but he's not like the reason we're winning most of these games, if any of the games. We went over the scores and how close those games have been. They've won multiple. They won a game with 13 points. They won a game without scoring a touchdown. So I think he might be looking at this as like, okay, Justin Fields has played pretty well, but we owe it to ourselves before we get to the crunch time of the season, before we get to the postseason potentially, because the Steelers basically always make the postseason, to see what Russell Wilson looks like in this offense with these weapons, and to know with maybe maybe they give it a 4-game run, and like you said, Cam, like if Russell Wilson fails, maybe they go back to Justin Fields, but at least then before they get into the meat of their schedule, before they get into the playoffs, they'll know which guy gives them a better chance during crunch time.
Yeah, and I feel that, and like I'm not arguing that Russell can't put up better numbers than Fields, like if you want to go yards, passing yards and like touchdowns. But the thing too is Pittsburgh might not be winning because of Justin, but Denver had a elite defense last year and Russell put up decent numbers and they still couldn't win games. So what is going to change with Russell coming to Pittsburgh?
Mike Tomlin magic.
True. I mean, I will take Mike Tomlin
over Sean
Sean
Payton.
Payton.
over Sean Payton right
Oh,
now.
100%.
Especially Sean Payton,
But-
who actively doesn't want you to be the quarterback.
Yeah, But that's just kind of how I look at it. It's just like Russell didn't win in Denver with a really good defense, and now he's coming to Pittsburgh with a really good defense, and it's just kind of like what has changed
Well,
to where you think that he is going to take you to the promised land over Justin Fields?
again, you also have to think about the fact that even if they didn't come out and say he was going to be the starter, I'm assuming that when they're building this offense after they signed Russell Wilson, they thought that Russell Wilson was going to be their starter. And so it could be
Yeah.
they're not the Justin Fields offense that they're running is limiting them in some way, or they feel like it's limiting them in some way, and that they want to be more of the Russell Wilson offense.
It's possible, but considering who their offensive coordinator is,
Arthur Smith.
yeah, I think he wants to #establish it. So I don't know how much.
You can still say you can hand it off. Najee Harris, 20 carries.
Yeah, that's on the light side. I think Arthur Smith wants to hand it to those running backs till the legs fall off. All right, let's go from a head coach who has had the magic to one who had the magic once and only once and hasn't really been the same since. Doug Peterson. If he's not the next head coach fired, I'd be interested to see who you guys think it'll be. But does he make it back
Mike
from
Tomlin.
London?
Oh, what?
and I don't mean is he alive after this game? Although I don't know, Streets of London. I've seen the documentaries, the gangs of no, that's the gangs of New
That's
York.
the gangs of New York.
Yeah, whatever. It's close enough. Look,
Is
when you're
it?
talking, we just, I don't know. Sometimes because you see these movies, they have British actors in them a lot of time, and it kind of feels like you could substitute Gangs of New York for Peaky Blinders.
Gangs of Old
That's all-
York.
Yes.
Gangs of York.
Gangs
There it
of
is.
York. There it is. There it is. We got there. All right. But Doug Peterson, if he's not the next coach fired, I'd be interested to hear who you guys think is. But does he make it back from London,
Nah,
still employed by the Jaguars?
If they win, yes. If they lose, yes, then he will be fired. They're gonna let him come back over the big pond.
I
before
mean, you
they
can say,
can him.
I don't know, man.
You know what?
Jaguars
You
are cheap.
stay. You
They
stay back.
They got rats in the stadium. They're having to tarp off huge swaths of their upper deck. Look, Sean, I used it. That swaths is one of my words from last week. I
Good
used
job.
it.
I'm proud
Thank
of
you. Word of the day.
you.
Thank you for that pat on the back. Humbly, I thought that was the greatest use of the word swath that's ever been done in
No
sports
disrespect, but
radio.
that's-
No disrespect, but humbly,
It's like
I'm
a
amazing.
Sixth grader.
But or a presidential candidate. But I mean, like, what do you guys think about Doug Peterson? I mean, is he dead man walking? Do you guys agree that he's the next coach fired in the NFL?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he's the
Yeah.
next human being fired in America. I think he might be the most fired coach that there is right now. I mean, yeah, I even if they win this week, I've already said beating the Patriots for the Texans was like playing junior varsity. Like,
Yeah.
like congrats, you beat the Patriots. The Jacks can wait 3 games. I'm sure you'll lose at least 2 of them, and then they can fire you. Then I
mean, if it's
I
not-
just don't know how you have any faith in the Peterson era.
I mean, if it's not him, I mean, is it Kevin
Labeled.
Stefanski in Cleveland?
Oh, Cleveland? No, because
I feel like
I feel like he's going to be sacrificed because they can't fire Deshaun Watson.
but
I mean,
I feel like that's an end of the season kind of thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. I just don't know the why you'd feel the rush to fire him right now. Because the
Oh.
Jets, you fire your quarterback because you think you can make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna sign rational thinking to the Cleveland Browns franchise.
but like that's like
I agree with you, Sean. I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, it was an ownership move. It's not like I'm sure Kevin Stefanski would love not to play this guy. like Kevin Stefanski's not an idiot.
Please fire me.
Yeah.
Get me out of here. Let me go run on a competent franchise
I don't think he gets fired because just looking at what
this
he
season. Or
did this season, because just what he did last year, getting them to the playoffs with Joe Flacco, like he is unfortunately handcuffed to Deshaun Watson, and they have a bunch of other like injury issues. They just traded away Amari Cooper. Like I feel like this is almost just like a wash
Yeah,
for the Browns this year because you you're not going to do anything while you have Deshaun under contract. Like, let's just. And I find that hilarious that of all teams, of course it's the Browns that are handicapped by something else and continue to be miserable. But honestly, I think that what is it, Brian Daboll in New York? I think if it's not Doug Peterson, it'd probably be Brian Daboll.
I mean, couldn't you make the same argument though? I mean, he got Daniel Jones to a playoff game. What was it, 2 seasons ago? I think they could give Daboll a chance to, because the offense has looked better with Malik Neighbors. You feel like you have that piece on lock. I could see them giving Daboll one more year to turn it around once Daniel Jones is no longer on the roster.
Yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, out of any coach to get fired this year, I think it'd only be Peterson. I don't.
Oh, there's gonna be
There's-
more than that, Cam.
No,
No,
in
in
season.
season.
Oh,
In
in
season.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that you're probably
Yeah.
right.
I have one more.
Okay.
And this guy is probably a 2-game losing streak at any point in the season away from getting fired. Do you know who it is?
Dennis Allen?
No.
Because they're on a 4-game
One-
losing streak.
Nick Sirianni.
Oh, yeah.
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah. He's
Next 2
chastising
games-
their fans.
Next 2 games against Cam's Giants and against against I don't know.
Pardon me?
And
I
against,
think he's got a Charger lightning bolt on his arm.
and the
Am I wrong?
No, it's up here.
and the Cincinnati Bengals. So
Oh,
2
yeah.
4-2 teams, or
Yeah.
2 and 4 teams that they could pretty easily lose to, and then they play the Eagles and the Cowboys, and it's like, okay,
That's a good
maybe
call.
keep them. But yeah, I think as far as a team, because again, to get fired in the season, there needs to be some level of we thought the season was going to be good,
Right. True.
and we're trying to get it back on track. And that you can say that for the Jets who fired Saleh. You can say that to a certain extent for the Jags
Yeah, they thought they were going to be better than this.
for when they fired Doug Peterson. I don't know if you can say that about the Giants or even like the Browns. That's a little different because it's
I mean, the Browns could say they're 11-5 last year. I think they
yes.
thought they were going to be better than this.
Yes, but again, they're Deshaun Watson IR stint away from making the playoffs.
Yeah, and Joe
They
Flacco's
need-
certainly better.
They need Deshaun Watson back on the IR so they can win some games.
Of all these non-Doug Peterson options, Johnny, who do you think's next to be fired? Of the non-Doug Peterson options,
I think Nick Sirianni is probably the guy.
he's going
Doug
after
Peterson
fans right now.
is absolutely
After
the next
wins.
one.
Yeah, after
but-
wins, he's going after the fans.
Going after fans.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Not a
God.
good look.
Kinda
And it's
clown.
Philly, you know.
Yeah, it is Philly. True. Yeah, they feel the heat arguably
you
more
know,
than any other
he
market.
may get murdered before he gets fired.
Whoa,
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Johnny.
Shanked?
Wow. Okay.
Alright.
I don't know why we're bringing
Yeah.
187 into the conversation,
Come
but
on.
we got to get to break on that note. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. When we get back, it is the return of Why So Serious as I outact other famous actors. Humbly, I say outact other Oscar-winning performances. Here in the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
ESPN Radio, welcome back into the Bullpen here on 97.5 and 92.5. We got one more hour to go with this edition of the Bullpen. Programming note, this might apply for Cam and John because they might not know yet, but no Bullpen next week. Sean, are you out of town and going to a Texas game? You don't have to tell us what's going on, but you're out for next week, right?
My mom's birthday.
Okay, important enough. I will allow
Yeah, is that a good enough excuse?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will allow that.
Does that work for you, John?
Not really, but
All right.
you know,
Well,
hey,
I mean, you guys can do the show then.
I mean, I would say, Sean, it feels like you don't want it enough.
Mm.
You know, I don't know if you got that dog in you.
Yeah.
But,
I have other things in my life other than radio, and so that
that kind of speaks volumes about your character, Sean.
Like in the NFL draft, where it's like he cares about things other than football.
Yeah,
it's not dedicated.
He's not dedicated to the
Okay.
craft. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Again, you guys can still have a show.
We're literally talking about the person who works the most here at the station.
Michael Carroll.
No,
Michael Carroll
I'll
won.
take that.
Michael Carroll won. Sean too. ESPN Radio, welcome back in. Sean, you can be second place. Hardest worker at the station. No show next week. In part because if Sean's off, I'm going to use the excuse to also be off.
Oh, there we go. The truth comes out.
The truth comes out. All right, so we don't do this segment every week. I think we've done it twice. Definitely, I think it's twice. But every once in a while, I'll see something in sports that people are overreacting to and just taking way too far. And I have to ask the question that the C- actor Heath Ledger once asked in the movie Dark Knight. Why so serious?
Why so serious?
I mean, before we get into it,
I feel like you're actually going to get yourself killed.
Before we get into it, I feel like I could have done that a little better. I'm just saying. Humbly, I think I could have pulled that off.
Humbly. Okay.
Johnny, play it for me one more time. Let's see if I can out-act Heath Ledger here.
Why so serious?
Okay, let me try this on for size here. Don't distract me, Sean. Why so serious? A+. Thank you. I mean, Johnny, you must have. Is the applause button not working in there? You must have forgot to hit that.
I'll give it a C+.
Producer error. Well, I mean, as I said, Heath Ledger C-. So there we go. I win. Hashtag BMAC wins. Thank you, Johnny, for confirming that. So I mean, confirmed. I said Heath Ledger C-. Johnny gave me C+. So I win. All right. So now that we settled the acting debate between Brian McDonald and Heath Ledger, we can move on.
May God rest his soul.
Rest in power, Heath Ledger. So why so serious? Okay, so what happened in sports this week that had me asking this question? Why so serious? The first thing was, I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter. He does like the media podcast for Sports Illustrated. Does a few other things for him as well. But Jimmy Trania,
I know who he is. I go out of my way not to follow him on Twitter. No, I don't care enough. I'm
kind of regretting I follow him at the when I saw this, but at least it gave us content, right? Exactly. So, and he has a lot of interviews with wrestlers. That's part of the reason why I follow him. But he tweeted out, I don't remember which game in the NLCS this was. I guess it was whatever game was on Wednesday. I don't know if that was game 1 or game 2.
Game 2.
It was game 2. Okay, so he tweeted out because what else airs on Fox on Wednesday nights? I don't know if you guys know this. You're not married, so you're probably not watching this.
911 Texas.
No, it's actually The Masked Singer.
Oh, okay.
Which if you're married, you're probably watching this, but you guys are all single. So.
CSI.
No, well, you are old enough to watch that because Cam watches that for pleasure. He doesn't watch it ironically. It's
nothing gets past me though.
Okay.
You see the signs everywhere.
Yes.
Are you solving crimes on the side?
Or getting away with them.
Oh, that's a little concerning. Oh,
there we go.
Johnny Belmer with the quickness.
I also watch Law and Order.
Of course you do. You're so old. I thought I was the oldest one on the show. Anyway, so Jimmy Trania on the night of Game 2, the NLCS tweeted out. Again, this is last Wednesday when the Fox also normally airs The Masked Singer. Jimmy Trania tweets out, quote, "I'm sorry, but the NLCS airing on FS1 while The Masked effing Singer airs on Fox is such an embarrassment for MLB." In tweet. bro.
Wait, did he say in tweet?
No.
okay.
I put that there so that you would
Okay.
know when it's not the quote, and,
Yeah, I got
and now it's me.
I thought he actually said
that would be pretty hysterical. I might start doing that. I'm gonna put in tweet on the end of my tweets. I'm not going to explain it for anybody though, so it's going to be for just the three of you. When you see my tweets that say in tweet, you're going to know the joke.
Texas need to establish it in tweet.
I will send that tweet tomorrow, I promise. But yeah, so Jimmy Trania once again, quote, "I'm sorry, but the NLCS airing on FS1 while the Mass Effing Singer airs on Fox is such an embarrassment for MLB. Jimmy Trania, why so serious?"
Why so serious?
I like that.
I know.
That had a little
find
bit
that.
extra on it. I like that, Johnny. But who? Oh, okay. Are you watching the game, Jimmy? Then why do you care what network you're watching it on? The only thing that matters for is just the bug on the the corner right of the upper left, upper right, whatever. That's the only place you ever notice it. Is it still Joe Davis and John Smoltz calling the game? Is it still the same players? Is it still the same graphics? Is you still got Ken Rosenthal on the sideline? Who cares that it's on FS1 instead of Fox? Why so serious, Jimmy Trania?
He might not have FS1.
Everyone who has cable has FS1. It's
Not everyone
basic.
has cable, Brian.
Okay.
Jimmy Trania does.
Yeah, but this is that feels yeah. One, he does. Two, that feels like the argument that what people would make when Monday Night Football moved to ESPN years ago. Like, I mean, we're past that point. I think. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, you're not. If you don't have, if you only have over the air, you're gonna miss some games. I'm sorry. We can't do anything about that.
I mean, I pretty much have almost every streaming option there is.
Exactly.
So I'm covered.
What percentage of Americans watching sports on a regular basis don't have FS1?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're watching baseball, especially,
right,
you have a cable package.
You have a cable package. You're not catching ABC, NBC, CBS on when do they ever air Major League Baseball games? The only one they ever air is those Saturdays Fox games. That's it. That's the only games you would ever get over the air. The Saturday Fox games in the World Series. That's basically it. So just the idea that, oh my God, that Masked Singer, because Masked Singer is pulling in ratings. I'm sure Fox is looking at this, and this is not a defense of whether or not Masked Singer is a good show. But if one show
Masked Effing Singer,
Masked Effing Singer, correct? Thank you, Cam.
It doesn't need a defense, too.
But if it's drawing ratings, that's an indictment on baseball, Jimmy. That's an indictment on what channel they decide to put it on. If they look at it like, well, Masked Singer's bringing in more ratings, or we have two networks, so we don't have to make the choice because they're not going to put Masked Singer obviously on FS1, then who cares? Why so serious?
I don't know if it's an indictment on baseball at all. I think what happened is they already have the graphics for FS1 in baseball. They probably don't have Masked Singer FS1 graphics. It's probably meant to just be on Fox, so that's probably why.
It's also not it's Fox Sports One. One of them,
right? That's true. Very true.
Not going to be on
a
FS1.
sports station.
Are you saying that competitive dancing is not a sport now?
Masked Singer is singing.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Never mind.
Dancing with the Stars.
I've never seen a show, so
it was kind of in the name, though.
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay.
Well, no, I will defend Cam here. It was a little confusing because it's called the Masked Effing Singer.
The effing threw you off. Like, wrong show for this, but car wreck of the day nominee Cam Smith.
Well,
thought the Masked Singer was a dancing show.
Well,
I'm sure they do dance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They actually do dance on the show. So that's fair. All right. Point to Cam Smith. Point to Cam Smith. All right. We want to try to get one more in here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So my next why so serious.
I hate being so serious.
There we go. And I'm not going to say the name, Joel Blank, but some of the people at the station fall into the people complaining about this, Joel Blank.
Whoa.
But people getting upset and whining about, well, Tom Brady, now that he's approved as Raiders owner, he can't go to practice. He can't sit on these production meetings. Like, Fox should want their money back from Tom Brady.
They should.
He can't do his job now.
Yep.
Why so serious? Why so serious? You're tuning into the game to see, like, one, you're not tuning to the game ever for the broadcaster. Let's start there. When are you ever tuning into especially the NFL, where, like, we're already in We watch Monday Night Football with Booker McFarland. Okay, we're willing to.
That's when I did tune in for Tess and Boog.
We're willing to tune into damn near anything as long as it's the NFL action. Who was the comedian a long time ago? Oh hell, they put Tony Kornheiser on Monday Football.
Mhm.
They put on
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller, that's the name. Yeah,
One of my favorites.
exactly. He was your go. But it proves the point that, oh my God, it's 32-3 South Carolina over OU. I got distracted for a second. But it doesn't matter who's on the call. It's never mattered who's on the call for the NFL. So, I mean, one, that's kind of the starting point with Tom Brady. And two, if you are someone who wants to hear Tom Brady, like, are you tuning in because Tom Brady had a chance to go chat with the Raiders tight end, like in this production meeting, or have a conversation with the head coach where he's not going to share 90% of the details this coach told him because it's, classified information, so to speak? You're tuning in because Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he could tell you, unique things during the game about what he's seeing through his eyes, through the eyes of a quarterback who was the greatest ever. It doesn't matter that he's not going to a production meeting. The assistants could tell him what was said if they want to, and he can get everything he needs out of that.
That's where I was going to go with this. Yeah, he can't attend practices and see a lot of the stuff, but we're really going to act like he can't get his hands on some footage.
Yeah, the director's going, oh, hey, he said this about this. He
Kevin
said this
Burkhardt
about this.
can pass
right,
along.
Or
exactly.
Tom's not going to text somebody and be like, hey, I can't ask him this question, but can you
ask
him
him
and give
for
me
me
an
and then
answer?
tell me what he
Come
said
on
exactly?
now.
Yeah, so
It's
why
Tom Brady?
Why so serious?
Yeah.
Why are you guys so serious?
We're not.
We're not. That's the point. We're serious about people being too serious.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of the joke of the segment.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, because you hear people say like Fox is paying $300 million for a
they're not getting their money's
broadcaster.
worth now.
Yeah,
Can't go to a production meeting.
Yeah, it's like I have news for you. They weren't paying him to go to production meetings.
Exactly.
They were not paying.
Oh.
Tom Brady didn't get this job for insightful football commentary.
Guess what?
He got this job for being Tom Brady, and that has not changed.
They could pay anyone to go to a production meeting. They can't pay anyone to be Tom Brady.
They could pay me. I'll take half of what Brady's making.
I'll take a quarter. You want to start a bidding war here?
I'll take an eighth.
I'll take a tenth.
I'll do it for free.
Johnny
bad
Belmer wins.
negotiation.
Destroying the market. Johnny Belmer ruining America as
Scab.
usual. Scab. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. When we get back, it's time for the big question, courtesy of Sean Mapes on the Bullpen Returns, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back into the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. I don't know if we're going to get through this segment because Cam Smith is buried deep in his Prize Pick app. So hopefully he's using the promo code MAPES to run his game. What has you so excited over there, Cam? What'd you just get in there? You got your credit card out and everything.
I know.
You saw something, you're ready to pounce on it. You don't have to tell us the dollar amount putting down, but what got you so excited over there?
I like the Carson Beck over 275, although Mapes has it better.
It's
More.
It's more.
Yeah.
259 less for Quinn
Thank you.
Ewers. Donovan Edwards over 72.5 rushing and receiving yards. And then Zion, Chris, and Jalen Daniels both over 206.5 passing and rushing yards.
I like that.
Very
I like
good
that.
stuff. Run
I
your
like-
game.
Run your game.
Run
Promo
it.
code MAPES. All right. Speaking of Mapes, Mapes has our big question this week. What do you got for us, sir?
Well, much was made at the start of the season with a certain Florida State fan. A
The
certain
guy
Florida
who-
State fan who went on
Yeah.
Twitter and said that he would eat dog feces if they lost to Boston College. I think that was the original game.
Yes,
That was the original.
because they
sin.
lost to Georgia Tech, and then
Yeah.
he said that he doubled down if they
Yeah.
lose to.
No
yeah,
way that Florida State goes 0-2.
They did.
They're now 1-6, 1-5, something like that. Now people have taken that information and they are pointing the finger.
Oh,
They're pointing the finger at this guy for not following through on eating the dog poop, and that's why the Florida State season has been so cursed.
yes.
How bad does this leads me to my big
I'm
question?
very scared right now. Johnny, are you ready to go to break? Be ready. Okay, be ready,
How
Johnny.
bad
All right,
does your team have to be?
tread lightly.
How bad does your team have to be? Whatever team that is,
Tread lightly.
before you start thinking about eating the dog poop.
Okay, you have to explain this a little bit. Now, is this like what?
Okay, so the Florida State
was it-
Seminoles are 1-6. They went
To what? To
13-0
flip their luck
in the regular
to
season.
flip their luck? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
how
obviously
bad
a-
do they have to be before we really
Before you start thinking, well,
Oh.
maybe it is my fault. Maybe I need to eat this dog poop.
Okay, so we're putting ourselves in the shoes of this fan.
Yes.
Like, you know what? This curse is on me.
Yes.
I'm now willing to follow through with my dog feces eating
It's
threat
time
because
for
we're
me
going
to
to
step
flip
up.
our luck.
It's time for me to step up. They tried a different quarterback. They tried two different quarterbacks.
Well, according to Taco and Rafi from the league, eating animal feces is second harvest. So
That's true.
there is
That's a
some
good call. That's a good call.
positivity to.
So it's not even that bad.
I didn't say
But
I
they
was
weren't
gonna
eating.
do
They
it.
weren't eating the whole thing though. They were harvesting out pieces. This conversation. My God, we have 7 minutes left in the segment. Look out, folks. Okay,
This is the light one. No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Oh, okay. This is
No,
the light
I'm
one.
kidding. This is
Good Lord.
I definitely started with the most
You
intense.
started with the. Well, I was gonna say a bang with the poo.
Yeah.
But
Started with the brown.
okay. So how bad would my team have to be? I don't think this is a one season thing.
What?
No. This is definitely not a one season thing. This has to be.
You don't want to know.
Well, I'm interested to hear what your number is then. But this has to be a situation where we're obviously both fans of the Longhorns.
Yes,
We
obviously.
2009, they're in the national title game. Obviously, Colt gets hurt. Dad's on the field. Whatever. They lose the game. And then they go on. I mean, I thought, even though they were you're losing two arguably, not even really arguably, the two greatest quarterbacks that the school has ever had, I didn't think there was going to be a drop off. Well, there was for about 11, 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think about year 6 or 7.
Year 6.
I think year 6 or 7, like, okay, I didn't think the Longhorns were going to drop off, but it's now from 2009. Now it's 2017.
So roughly.
Okay, maybe I've got to take the L on this, and I'm going to eat some dog
roughly,
food.
what you're saying,
Yeah.
is that if you said during the 2010 BCS title game,
Yes.
if the Texas Longhorns lose to Alabama, I will eat dog feces. And
No,
they
I would
lose.
say like more like this run's not ending once Colt leaves, and then wait, it's been 12 years.
Okay, they just lost because in 2016, Charlie Strong lost to Kansas, it would have
Yes.
taken the loss to Kansas
Yeah,
for you to
I
be
think
like,
I think that's the point. I
Oh
think
my
that's the point.
God.
I think that's the point. Look, because I think before that, I'm like, oh
so,
well,
so both Taysom Hill games, you're like, nope, probably
yeah,
not my
no,
fault.
it's probably like because some of it, you're like, oh well, maybe it's just a bad recruiting class, they had some guys leave early. Oh, Charlie Strong wasn't him. We move on, and we get to the next coach. Actually, no, because it would have gone before that when they lost to Kansas. But yeah, it's gonna take your shot. I'm sorry if that makes me a 2%er. I'll wear that scarlet number, as it were.
That Scarlet Brown streak.
Cam,
Cam.
I guess for you, would this be the Chargers?
Yeah, I think you need to define what team it would
What
be.
team are you? What team you care most about? Astros, Chargers, Cougars.
I mean, it would probably have to be the Chargers because technically they've had the least amount of success between Astros.
You got them tattooed on your body.
Rockets.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Astros logo
That's
too.
also a good point with the Astros. It's like, you know what? I can wait a couple years.
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, is like with the Chargers, like
for the Astros.
every year, it's a lot of it is just due to like injuries, not necessarily just being trash. And so it's just kind of like, I don't know at what point I'd be comfortable eating dog crap.
But that's the thing. Maybe this curse that you've put on the team, that's why Joey Bosa is getting hurt. That's why Derwin James is getting hurt.
This is why they go
year.
14-2 and lose their first playoff game.
Man, I really got to think about this. What kind
That's why Justin Herbert gets a random foot injury every year.
Always
do we have
hurting his ribs.
specifications to the Dookie?
I don't think we want to give specifications.
We can keep going. What?
Oh God, we got 3 minutes left in the segment. Now we're almost there.
I have a second question.
Okay, well, let's speed through this, Cam. How many years of? Okay, let's say Oh, here, Cam. I'll make this simple. The Chargers now 17-game schedule. They go 5-12 for however long it takes you to eat the dog poo. How many years of 5-12 football are you going through to
with Justin Herbert, wasting Justin Herbert's
career?
Oh dear God!
How many 5-12 seasons
with Jim Harbaugh on the sideline?
Hard dog and Giro, thank you.
Slowly killing him every time you choose not to eat the poo.
The man's got a heart problem. You really want to kill him?
Probably after year 2.
Oh,
there
okay.
we go.
All right.
I can respect that.
Because you threw in the Herbert.
Yeah.
Because they threw in the wasting of Herbert. Like, if
That's what I was trying to do.
Cam's a better fan than I am.
Don't.
I mean, we all knew that.
Yeah, sorry for this, but I don't love any of my teams. Not a single one.
You're wearing a
None.
Texans hat. You have a Texans
I
hat.
have it tattooed on my body. I don't care if they lose every game for the next 10 years.
You would take
There's
0-17
nothing.
for
There's
CJ
nothing.
Stroud and not reverse it.
No.
Your local wizard comes to you, is like, hey, I can reverse this. You just got to eat this.
I live and die on Sundays just like everybody else, but there is
There'll
not
be a lot of dying there.
Yeah, it's fine with me. There is not anything. Nothing. You can't make me do it.
Wow.
I mean, we
Okay.
could, but anyway, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next one, Sean?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Step Brothers?
Yeah.
Hold him down.
I got a belly of white dog crap in my stomach. All right. To answer the question, I would have already done it if I was that.
Wow.
He's like, I already did.
Sean's not a 2%er.
All right.
I did it before the show.
Question number 2. Well, I guess that was question number 2. Second question.
Wow.
Hey,
Wow.
That's
Dad
why I
joke
did that.
alert.
Good one.
This one's much more chill, I dare say.
I hope so.
Also, you'll get this dad joke when I finish the question.
Okay.
Why it's more chill. What do you keep your thermostat at?
That's easy.
It's 73.
Really?
73.
All day?
73.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, all day.
Careful.
That was close.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
real close,
That
Cam.
how
was
did we
real
talk about
close,
dog
Cam.
poop for 10
I
minutes?
know.
And that was the first
And
time.
that was, yeah, you got through the entire dog poop segment with not dropping the S-bomb, and the thermostat be setting at 73 got you. Well, almost got you.
I'm not sure if I like it being on an odd number.
Me neither.
Can I tell you
I
guys
think that's
something?
what's bothering me the most.
Can I tell you something, guys, in confidence?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Well, except
no,
for
no
the
one.
radio?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's here.
No,
Yeah,
just
no one's here.
between
It's just us four here. When I raise or lower the volume on my TV, I will only do it in increments of 5.
Wow.
Wow, that
5.
is-
That's a big increment.
I thought I
I
was
know.
OCD.
I thought I was weird too. Now I'm starting to realize
Yeah.
we're all just weird.
We're all
yeah.
OCD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very OCD about certain
So
things.
73.
But I'm at 73.
73.
I
Ice
that's
box.
actually a compromise because I would go lower, but
Can we go?
Right.
I
No,
would-
I'm with you,
I
B-Man.
would go lower.
I
That's
would go higher.
What do you keep yours at?
I would keep it if I had my choice to be 72 year round all the time, just constant.
if I had my choice, 69.
But you're married, so that can't happen.
Yeah, it was at 69 before we got married, but then you get married and you know.
Yeah, less and less often. Cam?
Yeah. So when I'm not home, I leave it at 74. But when I get home,
You
and I
were
start-
arguing with me about 1 degree.
no,
2
you're not.
degrees.
You're not.
Oh,
when I-
no,
you said
yeah.
74. I
when
said
I-
73.
When I leave, like to go work, and I'm not at home, I put it at 74 to save a little bit. But when I get home, I drop it down to like 70, 69, sometimes even 68. I'm a cold
so you say I was too warm. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were going the other
I
way.
I was
cannot-
saying you're too
I
cold.
cannot sleep in heat.
Yeah, no, I agree. I always
I
have a fan
cannot do
going.
it. I
Even
cannot do it.
at 73, I have a fan going.
It could be 50 degrees outside, and my apartment's still going to be at 68.
Okay.
Yeah. And to the point of the numbers, everything for me has to be on an even number except for 3 or 33.
I'm mine's
So 73 is not offensive to you then.
It is.
But you said it
Because
could
it's
be
not
at a 3.
or 33. Those two odd numbers I can't.
Oh, just the number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes 21 because LT, but yeah, we're getting a little.
All right.
But
All right.
basically,
Sean,
I hate
what's-
odd numbers.
Okay. 78 when I'm not there. When I'm out there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Johnny and I are simpatico on this. This is very.
We are simpatico, but see, I'm living in a world of kind of hell right now because my dad.
Well, you just moved. Moved, right?
We did, but my dad is big on we can't go below 76 because I'm not even playing 76, 77 most days is what he keeps it at, and I argue with him. I fight with him.
My parents
but
do
it's
too.
I'll move
not
in
going to
with them.
change.
I'll move in.
I go to my parents' house. They keep it at 78, and I want to kill myself.
It's crazy.
I
Yeah.
know.
78 when you're in there is too
Yeah.
high.
But you keep it at 78 when you're gone.
Yes.
Okay, so what about when you're there?
75.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I could live with that with the fan going, but I don't like it.
Do
I
you
don't
have
like
many windows?
No.
Now
Two
Now
windows.
you also just recently moved. So
Yeah.
is this something that you just started doing now, or is this always been?
I had my own AC when I was in the studio apartment.
Okay.
I'd keep it at the same.
All right.
Windows plays a big factor because our
It does.
apartment has
does.
basically the
You
entire
open the
back
windows?
side of the.
You open the windows?
No, I'll open.
I don't think
like,
I've ever opened the
I'll
windows.
open the sliding patio door, but like our apartment, the
There's too many
back side
bugs,
of it
man.
faces the sun, and in each of the rooms, basically one wall is an entire window, so it gets a lot more
Yeah.
hot.
Oh
So
yeah,
we
big
have to
window.
draw
Yeah,
that
our
into
living
the
room
window.
has 2 small windows and then a big window across the back. You got to draw the curtains on those,
Yeah.
otherwise it doesn't matter what you set them on.
Like
we
AT&T
got into some real dad talk there.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
I'm saving money.
You're
over
saving-
here. You guys.
Frugal Sean Mapes,
Yeah.
Cam
I
Smith,
wanna
John
see your
Belmer,
thing.
I'm Brian McDonald. When we get back on the other side of this break, when the bullpen returns on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5, it is time for the best part of your week in Houston. It is time for Mount Rushmore Plus One. Don't go anywhere.
Never throw shade on Bagel Bites.
ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. We almost, I think, came to blows during the right as we were coming back. I thought Cam Smith was besmirching the sacred, the hallowed name of Bagel Bites. Cam, you have a defense here?
Yeah,
You,
he muttered
No,
underrated.
yeah,
honestly,
he might have overrated right as I heard the word Bagel Bites in the intro.
I was shook by Sean's quick reaction. I don't think he's ever looked so startled towards me.
Because you tried to besmirch the good name of
no,
Bagel
no,
Bites.
Someone
no.
brings up Bagel Bites and
That's
then go
hearsay.
overrated.
I said pizza was overrated, not Bagel Bites. How dare it?
I don't know if that's a better take.
I think it's a little bit better.
A
But
little
I'm
bit better.
I don't know why, but that sits with me a little bit better.
I got one for you. I think Bagel Bites are overrated. I'll
All
just say it.
Turn your microphone
You know
off.
what? Just for that, you don't get to do Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
I mean,
+1
we were gonna get to you, but
I'm crying. Sean.
Mount
man,
Rushmore
wow.
of offensive things John has
Heel
said.
John
Yeah,
Belmer
Mount
is,
Rushmore +1, a terrible John Belmer take.
you notice that I think John likes to be a heel towards us.
does.
He
He's-
claims not to like wrestling, but he loves being a heel towards us.
It comes natural.
Yeah, it comes naturally. He's a natural heel. All right, Mount Rushmore +1. Welcome into the best part of your weekend, Houston. Sean Mapes will obviously main event Mapes.
I don't.
But
I mean,
I know, but I like the gimmick.
yeah, I like the gimmick too, but I don't want to make it seem like I have some ego or whatever.
I kind of like insinuating that you do. I kind of like it.
Takes
All
away
right.
from him.
All right.
Yeah, it
Okay.
deflects the attention away from me saying
Whatever.
humbly and saying I'm out acting these
Okay.
Emmy and Oscar winning performers.
Okay.
All right, but
I'm okay with that.
Cam, John,
Huh?
one of you guys want to go first?
No, John's suspended.
John's. Oh, that's right, John's suspended. Cam,
I'm
you want to go first,
suspended.
or you want me to go first?
One
Your
one
call.
week suspension.
I'll go.
All right, go ahead, Cam.
Okay. Pardon me. So the other day, when the temperature, let's get this straight, people, it didn't drop cold, it just got cool, but it triggered me enough on the insides when I was hungry to where I wanted to get something savory like a soup. So
Oh,
I got pho. So I was thinking, now that we're getting into the fall weather, what are some of my favorite hearty like soups or stuff that comes in like a bowl? So that's
things that you would never eat in the summer, or not never eat, but would rarely eat in the
so
summer.
pho I would eat in the summer, but
Yes.
not as frequent. Maybe
Yes,
like an
not
every
as
other week. thing.
frequently.
Yeah,
No, that
it'd be
didn't
when I was
Oh.
really hungover, to be honest, because it is a hangover
Sean,
cure.
Wow. Okay.
So on my list, like I mentioned before, I have pho, menudo, which is also not something I'm going to eat a ton in the summer. But if I am,
Sorry, what's in menudo? What is menudo? I've heard of it, but I don't know what's in it.
if I'm not mistaken, it's like intestines, cow intestines, right, Johnny?
All right. Why are you looking at Johnny?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
Why
know.
you
I have
why
no
you think
clue.
Johnny knew
because when I
that?
said menudo, he was shaking his head up and down like I agree.
Well, I was
so-
just following along with you.
Okay.
You know?
yeah.
I don't know what's in it though.
Being an active listener.
Yeah, being that. Thank you, Sean. There we go.
It honestly, when you talk about what's in it, it doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah,
but it
you're,
is
you're
one
not
of those.
telling me on this
it-
list.
But you
Gotta
can say
try
the
it.
same thing about hot dogs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it's true. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. But it is a good cold weather thing and a good hangover cure. Next, more traditional beef stew. You know, your beef with your potatoes and carrots
Sure.
and peas.
Yeah.
Chicken tortilla soup.
Oh,
That's another
elite.
one I
Elite.
think that you can
Yeah,
kind of just
elite.
eat year round.
I don't like Panera bread, but they have like a street corn tortilla soup. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's
Ooh.
pretty good.
I'll have to look into
Like
that.
a street corn tortilla soup. It's anyway.
Roasted corn is always a little better than just your little corn.
You know what I'm talking about, like the Mexican street corn?
Yeah.
It's that style, but with tortilla soup. Anyway, continue.
And then the last one, and this hits more to my Irish side, and that would be potato soup.
Oh yeah,
I love a good
potato
Yeah, I
soup.
love
is
a
elite.
potato soup.
Yeah, like
I'm not a soup guy, but potato soup is elite. Like
It's
a good baked potato soup is elite.
Yeah,
Every time I order it, because I always get it, or not always, but if I do see it on a menu, I'll like, yeah, let me get a potato soup, and then I have it. I'm like, some stereotypes are right, and I freaking love potatoes.
dude.
I like the Irish thing. I mean, look at this set. There's a lot of Irish
Yeah.
heritage on this set.
Remix
so-
on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of exactly. All right, I guess I will go second since Johnny is in suspension. though.
If you want to lift his suspension, that's fine. He can be suspended next time.
You're suspended for 5
You know what, Johnny, you're suspended next week. You can't do a Mount Rushmore +1 next week. Go ahead, Johnny.
Okay, great. Because I have one prepared this week. I don't have to worry about doing one for next
I'm gonna
week.
listen and protest.
Anyways, I seen a guy this week on Twitter beat a home invader away with a stick. And it got me thinking, like a broomstick.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
if
but
it's like a branch, like a limb off the tree,
Yeah.
or
No, he beat him off with a stick.
Yeah, he beat him off with a stick. He saved his own, his stuff. Got me thinking. So I decided to do my Mount Rushmore +1 of household items that could be used for self-defense that are not a gun or a knife.
Oh, okay.
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 I like that guns were gonna be household items.
Well,
in
not to get
Texas,
political.
He's got the shotgun.
In
Not to get
Texas.
political,
Umbrella
but
holder.
No one knows, like,
you know what?
He's gonna say like a rolling pin and like
I'm
also a
interested.
gun.
I'm interested in where Johnny goes with this because I think I had a Mount Rushmore +1 on the household items I could John Wick into weapons. So I'm wondering.
Okay.
I'm wondering how many crossovers they had. Go ahead, Johnny. While I'm looking up this list.
Okay, well, I started number 5. I went old school, simple. I went with a belt. Like,
Sure.
you can get the belt off pretty
Yeah,
quick, do
those
some
hurt.
damage. Number 4, I went with a wet towel. Wet the
Ooh.
towel.
Okay.
You
Sure.
can do some
It
damage.
takes a lot of effort, but I think that
I do like the idea of breaking into someone's home and he's whipping up the towel.
Hey, hold,
Exactly.
sir. Hold a second. And he's just because you gotta reload, if you will, by spinning it up again.
Or re-wetting it.
Yeah.
The third one I have
Crazy.
can of soup and a pillowcase, which does
Oh,
some damage.
Nice.
Yeah. You can,
Okay,
you can just throw the can of soup.
Yeah, like
It's
in a
like-
prison
That's
movie.
true.
Yeah, that's like putting coins or rocks in a sock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bars of soap.
Number 2, this one I would bother me the most. I think a roach or wasp spray to the face, like
Ooh.
almost
yeah.
like a thing of raid.
like you
Wait,
do
it
with
would
pepper
bother
spray.
you as the person using it,
No,
or
I mean if
receiving
somebody
it?
did that to me, I think
Oh.
that'd be the worst. Like that would drive me crazy. Like right in the eyes, right in the face,
Oh,
roach or
just
wasp
spray 'em in the
spray.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just spray
Yeah,
in the face.
use it as mace.
I
Yeah.
thought about like
Exactly.
using it like when you hit someone in the head with a beer
Bludgeon?
bottle.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
No.
Or
No,
like a
it would
torch?
shatter.
Like a torch?
I
See,
think
And
about
then you
that-
have to
that-
have the second item with the.
I
Anyway.
think about that a lot. I have a
Oh, I think Johnny was about to go there.
Cam nailed it.
WB-40?
No, but hairspray
Okay.
and a lighter is my number 1.
Ah, there it
Oh, there you
is.
go.
Gotta
There
go
you
for it.
go. There you
Yeah.
go. Actually, no crossover. So well done,
Wow.
Johnny. Well done.
Wow.
I pulled up my list. No crossovers. That's well done. Yeah. So I mean the WB-40 in the lighter was a favorite of I think teenage Brian. But yeah, same sort of thing.
delinquency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, teenagers gonna teenage. All right. So my Mount Rushmore
Boys will
+1.
be boys. Wow.
Boys will be boys.
Bad luck,
that never goes poorly, right? So I've got 2 options, Sean. I'm gonna
Okay.
let you make the choice
I love this.
because one of them is about you. The other one is me being very judgmental about other things or people when people celebrate certain things. Which direction would you like me to go?
Well, mine is also going to be about me.
Okay, so you want me to go the other direction?
No, I want you to do the one about me, and then I'll
okay.
also do one about
Okay,
me.
all right,
This
so-
this one's going to be all about me. Main event mates. Again, I don't want to make it seem like I have an ego though.
But please talk more about me.
But we're going to end on 2 ones about me.
All right, so my Mount Rushmore +1 is a little peek behind the scenes. As we mentioned last segment, Sean recently moved,
Yeah.
and I've been making fun of him for getting old as he gets closer to 30.
I think
because
our Mount
now he's actually got windows open on his phone of IKEA's website as he looks for lamps, which is Johnny's laughing. That's a very old person thing to do. As a man of 41, you're getting closer to me at a rapid pace when you're looking up lamps at
It's
IKEA.
like those commercials when you turn into your parents.
Yeah,
That's what's
kind of.
happening.
Our Mount Rushmores are going to be very similar.
Okay. Are they? Should I pivot then?
No.
Okay. All right. So my Mount Rushmore, in addition to the lamps that Sean's going to buy at IKEA, my list is my Mount Rushmore +1 is of other things Sean needs now that he's old.
Okay.
Because he's old now.
There's enough difference.
There's
in
enough
ours,
difference. Okay. So I've got like 8 or 9. So I'm not going to list all 5, but if you already have one of these, tell me and I'll go to the next one.
Okay.
So this is also like
All right.
informational for you.
All right.
All right, number 1, a dish drying rack. You got to get the dish drying rack because look, if you leave your dishes in the dishwasher, it like the humidity and everything gets trapped in it. That like the water will stay on the thing. You got to put it on the dish rack so it dries out. You already have one?
I do not have that.
All right, so add that onto your IKEA shopping list. All right, number 2, seasonal wall decor. Now this is you also kind of have to be married for this, but not really. You cannot just like the seasons. But I got tons of seasonal wall decor up on my walls right now. And on the door, and on the windows, and in the yard. So that is the next step as you're getting older, Sean. You got to have the Thanksgiving and Halloween themed stuff up on the walls.
So I think I'm doing pretty well here because I have 0 wall decor.
All right. So that's another thing.
Seasonal
to add to the
or
list.
otherwise.
Okay. Next one is, man, you can't have your place stink. Get some Glade plugins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, get the Glade plugins.
I have a Glade plugin.
Oh, all right, I'll move
I
to
have
the next
two,
one. All right,
actually.
scratch that one off.
One for each, or not each room.
You need a toolkit plus measuring tape and a level. You never know when you might need to hang a picture on the wall. You might need to maybe the cabinet comes undone. You got to screw things.
Yeah.
You got to have the toolkit with the hammer and the little screwdriver and the wrench. Plus, you add on the measuring tape and the level. You got that?
No, I don't have.
Okay, so add that onto the list. That'll be the next
level.
one. Next one, dark curtains. Man, you can't have the glare on the TV. You can't have the glare on the TV. Plus, Sean, Cam was talking about the big window with the heat, making the room warm, driving your cooling cost up, your energy cost up. You got to get curtains that are dark. So go ahead and get those. That was number 3. I'll go quickly here. John needs us to get out. You need to get a cutting board. I know I'm not asking you to cook. I'm not asking you to cook, but you got to have some place. If you need to cut something up, you can't do it on the counter. Get a cutting board.
4 cutting boards.
See, well, you're kind of a chef too. So
0.
There's 4 good things for you. Last one. This is like a specific product, not like an item, but a magic eraser. It's like the Mr. Clean magic eraser. Those little yeah.
I was thinking magic marker.
No. Those things will clean up
those
anything. Those things will get rid of anything, man. They are money. So get some magic erasers.
I think my parents gave me a couple when I.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. See, looking out for you,
that was
Sean.
in the care package. All right. My Mount Rushmore +1 is also me themed. Mount Rushmore +1s of ways I can tell I'm slowly getting washed like Brian.
It's amazing how similar our lists were.
I didn't write down like Brian. I added that was an add-in.
That's unnecessary. I'm glad I'm missing next week now.
First one, I see trends or memes on social media that I don't get, and I think I'll figure this out in a couple days. I think enough people will do it to where I figure it out. I don't get it, but then once the Wendy's accounts start doing it, and once pro teams start tweeting it out, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I get this trend now.
Been there.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've listened to a new musical artist in 2024. I don't know if I've discovered a
Been
new.
there for a decade.
Actually,
Been there for a decade.
Don't know
Been there
if
for a
I've
decade.
discovered a new artist personally in 2024. This one, because I was grocery shopping last week, I went to HEB, and later that day I called my mom and I mentioned that I went to HEB, and she asked if I used the app for curbside pickup, and I said no because I like walking down the aisles.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, but you're a chef. I mean, I know that's not your main source of employment, but I would expect you for that. But I think Sean's just getting old.
Yeah, no, I like walking down. I like to see what they got.
I expect you to say you were talking to your mom about price comparison between HEB and Kroger.
Oh, that goes into my next one.
There it is.
I bought a 120 pack of garbage bags instead of a 40 pack of garbage bags because I was saving like 10 cents a bag. Which adds up. That's like $8.
Like on HEB,
Yeah, bro.
I know. We're gonna have to rob from the next segment. But like when you buy sodas or something from like specifically HEB, it'll show you the price per ounce.
Yes.
Yes. There we go. Yeah. Like if you're comparing,
doing the math.
Do I get the mini pack or the 10 pack of the minis or the 24 pack? It'll give you price per ounce.
So I'll never have to buy garbage bags again because I have 120 of them in my apartment. And then this is something it's already been mentioned. I spent I don't know, probably 2 hours looking at different lamps.
Yeah,
Me too.
You're washed.
Yeah.
You're washed. Yeah. So, are you happy with your choice? Did you finally buy it?
Still waiting for it to be delivered.
Did you Amazon
Okay.
it?
No, IKEA.
IKEA,
this is
but
all IKEA.
He's old. He's going to IKEA now.
but it's not available in the store, so I'm having it sent to me.
Yeah. All right. We got to get out. That was fantastic. Yeah. All right. The list that were eerily similar but different. Well done, everyone. That was Mount Rushmore plus one. We got one segment left to go. It is what we love from sports this week and the worst people in sports this week, with the Bullpen returns on ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
Broadcasting live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, it's the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
I'll go to you first. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Welcome back into the Bullpen final segment today. Again, programming note, no show next week. And Texas A&M football coming up against next as they take on Mississippi State. Let's quickly get into our worst people in sports this week. Sean, who is your worst person in sports this week?
Worst person in sports this week isn't a person.
Oh.
It's a bulldog. It's a Georgia bulldog, specifically the mascot, for not having the cojones to get on a plane and go to Austin for the game tonight.
2%.
Well, that might explain why he doesn't have the cojones, but metaphorically doesn't have the cojones to watch his team play. Scared, not SEC ready, doesn't want to watch a murder. Get out of my face.
Texas by 50. Wow. Cam, what's your worst person in sports this week?
My worst person is that Baltimore Ravens fan, John Callis, who was...
He takes no L's.
Huh?
He takes no L's.
Well, except for first-degree aggravated assault. But yeah. Just that dude that, went around beating up innocent, non-looking, knowing what's happening, watching
Commanders fans.
Non-combatants.
Yeah. Non-combatants,
just like people,
NPCs.
Yeah, and
he just went around and started punching NPCs for some reason.
Didn't Baltimore win?
Yeah, they won the game. They won the game by like 10.
Even more so, your team won, and you're going around.
He takes no L's, Cam.
Well, he's going to take one in
He took an L as far as his job
He gonna take one.
in the arrest.
He's gonna take one in jail. Too.
Yeah, he's going to. Well, that's not the only letter he's going to be taking in
No,
jail.
SOAP.
Getting too close there. All right, we're going to move quickly past that. George Pickens is a bad person. Look, I'm not going to play the George Pickens audio, but basically he leaked out in his answer saying that, I got in some extra practice this week because, Russell Wilson's making his first start before Mike Tomlin announced it, which reminds me of one of the best parts of Casino, this classic violation that George Pickens broke. Always keep your mouth shut, George Pickens. Never rat against your friends. Never go against the family. Broke a classic rule there. All right, we're done with the Anger Sharks. We got to move quickly before Aggies football starts. Let's go ahead and swim over. Let's doggy paddle over to the Sea of Tranquility. Sean, what did you love from sports this week?
What I loved from sports this week, same thing that I loved in sports last week when I discovered this TikTok page of disgraced former Oakland Raiders head coach John Gruden breaking down what he saw from this weekend of NFL action.
Ooh! That's the best part. Ooh!
he does that he basically just reads box scores
and then plays rap music and goes, ooh!
Yeah. It's great. It's a great clip. You should go spend time watching John Gruden's YouTube page.
Sean, whatever happens when you go to BYU?
Well,
besides premarital, alcohol, can't drink caffeine.
Yeah, those don't happen when
those
you go
don't
there.
happen. You go, but do teams go into Lavelle Edwards stadiums and pick up a W, Sean? You've learned this lesson twice.
Very rarely.
You don't go into Lavelle Edwards Stadium and pick up a win. Play the highlight for me, Johnny. My bad. BYU BYU with the game-winning touchdown late against Oklahoma State. Your future Big 12 champions, the BYU Cougars. Cam, quickly, what'd you love from sports?
I love being able to make a trade and get Lamar Jackson and Brock Bowers for C.J. Stroud and Devontae Smith.
You're spending your time talking about your fantasy trade?
That's the best part of my week was the guy making that trade.
Wow. How was your week overall then?
It was amazing. I won by like 47 points.
Well done, Cam. Well done. You took me trying to chastise you a little bit, and you turned it on its head. Well done. All right. That'll do it for the bullpen this week. For Cam Smith, for Sean Mapes, for John Belmer behind the glass. I am Brian McDonald. Stay tuned. Aggies football is up next. They are taking on Mississippi State. Sean and I will be sweating out Georgia, Texas later if you want to find the misery on Twitter. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. Be good, Houston.